Earthgod here, and it's time to talk about rock, paper, shotgun, or more like electric hair, scissors, gun. I definitely didn't expect this one. I was expecting Riyo to win, but not like this. And yeah, she was definitely giving some crazy vibes, but this episode more than confirms that. So far, she seems to be probably the most unhinged or the most killer vibes that we have gotten in this episode. Of course, we still have had killers unhinged with Jab, but Zodil doesn't seem to be all there. All of them probably have something, and also makes me curious, how did Engine manage to put her on a leash, in her own words? So yeah, this episode got very interesting, to say the least, during that fight, and also the ending, what's happening with the Watchmen series. And yes, I still sound weird, I'm still dealing with some health issues. It's been a couple of weeks, trust me. Should have seen my my lip actually inflated, swollen so much. Damn, free Botox there. All was about to explode. My throat still hurts, so yeah, I apologize if I sound weird. But anyway, let's get into the episode and talk about it. Now, Jabbar was definitely really happy for him doing his mission, was about to carry Zanka away. Little did he know something was expecting him here. I was like, okay, there's no way. Wait, what? How did this come to? He just gets shot in the leg while he was happy there. Like, wait, now we have guns here. And yeah, makes sense, because why not? Seems like this is the surface for me gives me the vibe like it's Earth. Our Earth, in a way. Something happened, the spheres became a thing, and yes, guns should be a thing into a world like this. Of course, what happened, how did you get to this point, I have no idea. The border, the spheres, and so on. But yeah, I didn't expect them to actually go for guns, and we're gonna get into that. And Engine overhears the shot. At first I thought he has no idea what that is, like he just heard a boom, or maybe they know about the guns here. But now that we have more context with this episode, he definitely knew what that meant, and we're gonna come back to that here. And that scared kid, Fu, or whatever his name was, because he's definitely Zenitsu, he's definitely the same voice actor. Also, let me know in the comments below if I'm mistaken there. Very panicked, wanted Engine to hit him first, also saying that their plan was to make the cleaners into offerings. He kind of let that slip through. And Zodil, I feel like he's controlling them more like a tyrant, kind of making them fight and not come into the last place, especially for him. And he just doesn't want to be the one to initiate the fight. And I really like the smirk or the grin that Engine had when the kid said, hey, hit me first. No. Straight up no. I don't know if the kid was just saying that because of his personality, he's scared, anxious, and so on. And maybe also his powers are based like, hey, if you hit him, something also happen, like a condition to that here. But the main focus of this episode was definitely Nuer versus Riyo here. It finally picks up from where we left off there. After Riyo recovers a bit from the shocks, she even uses her spin that she did the wind to deflect the hair. And Noerde definitely was molding, because Riyo was playing around in this fight. She felt more in control, even though she took some hits here. But then it's revealed that she has a time limit, Noerde, with her hair there. But she's even able to actually fight. Like, this fight like was more hand-to-hand combat than power-wise. Weren't really clashing with their powers as much as two girls going hand-to-hand, baller to the wall combat here. I didn't like they were using too much, showing their environment around while they're smacking each other. We had too many shots of just random things in the background of the arena where they're fighting there, instead of seeing the cool things that were happening. That was my one nitpick I have with this episode. Everything else was great besides that. Riyo definitely took some hit, even though she deflected a hit from Noerde there. She got a big, like, spirit wave slam in her body there. Like, Noerde definitely can know how to fight. Apparently she's part of this warrior tribe, Sileia. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. And you instantly, I didn't know I never heard about it here. And yeah, this is where you have the hand-to-hand combat from both of them. The song was also great. I think here that's why I wanted to see more, because the song was great, the punches were awesome. Seeing hand-to-hand combat go this hard was great here. But after this, they start using their powers again there, and we see both of them tire. Like, it was a back and forth between both of them. But in context of this episode, what we find out later on, Riyo wasn't really fighting to win, or more fighting to kill. We'd have probably seen a different way this fight would have played out if Riyo wanted or was allowed to go for the kill. We're gonna get into that. And Riyo was actually coughing blood but smiling. She was enjoying it and saying, nobody can hear a cry for help here. Like, okay, this is the moment where she's gonna unleash her power, right? She's gonna do this and that. Wanna see more of her scissors, how exactly this is gonna work. We're gonna see the powers clash there, electric hair versus scissors. But no, she just pulls out a gun. I'm like, okay, damn, that's actually cool as fuck. I expected. Reminded me of the Indiana Jones movie when you have that guy with the sword doing all of those moves there, and then he just... Even though, if I remember correctly, even that scene in the movie was an improvisation there. Well, it's really fun. This is probably the funniest scene in the entire anime. And definitely Nuer, they didn't see it. Like, she got shot out of nowhere. They know what guns are, but it seems they're scarce. Like, very few people have them probably. Again, world building and what happened, how they got to this point, and so on. And this is where we see the full Riyo personality. Like, she kind of drops the mask, her trying to pretend to be a human in a way, and even talking a bit about her upbringing there, and even saying that she promised not to stain her vital instrument with blood, at least not anymore. And the gun was a gift from her boss at the last job. And now the deduces here that she used to be a professional killer. So I have professional killer in this world here. But I like how OP the guns are. Like, you have very powerful people here with their vital instruments, electric hair, and whatever else they can do and generate. And a gun pretty much fucks everybody up, especially as a surprise gun, to say the least. And I like how her personality just instantly took control over Noerde. Noerde was the loud one, feeling like she was in control the entire time. But yeah, the ones that talk the less, those are the ones that you have to pay attention to. And Riyo more than fits that, to say the least. And even saying, or a little secret, not to tell anybody else, she used to be a professional killer, and saying, your lucky engine got me on a leash. So I'm really curious, considering how Riyo is, how did Engine manage to control her or make her make that promise? What's their relationship? And also even tying back to Zanka, when we saw that flashback with Zanka and why they were there in that town, why they were traveling, how did they met. So I am really liking character building, world building at the same time when we have a great fight. This was one of the best episodes that we have gotten to date for characters, fights, and world building here. So yeah, Noerde is not dead. Riyo is not gonna kill, at least again, until maybe somebody pushes her into that situation here. And I'm curious what's going to happen moving forward with that when we get the reveals here. And we see a bit more of context with Riyo, with flashbacks, how she's always paying attention to Rudo, thinking about him, how is he gonna end up. And we see the events leading up to this point from her perspective. She wanted to get involved more with Amo. I'm really curious how that would have went if Riyo was unleashed, so to say, every event that we have gotten so far there. And yeah, back in the present, we see the beginning of the episode. She was the one that shot Jabber. Like, we see one shot, but then she shoots him more and more, like fully disabling. She didn't went for kill shots, just non-life-threatening, but considering how much blood he's gonna lose, just disabling his arms, his abdomen, and things like that. Not going for vital organs there, saying, yeah, you're gonna be fine, you're a tough bastard, right? You're gonna get saved, same as Nuer there. And yeah, she's unhinged, and I like that, to say the least. But here she actually checks on Zanka, starts carrying him. So Zanka is gonna be fine, but I'm really curious. Is he gonna have that shock to the system after he wakes up? Is Zanka gonna get a power up, a change in perspective, considering what we saw with his flashbacks, how much Jabber destroyed him, both physically and mentally, I would say so, considering with the flashback here. But yeah, then we have back with Zodil and Rudo Katuni coming in, giving a report to Zodil, the situation with everybody, and saying that Zodil was saying the cleaners are tougher than he expected, and they grab Rudo to go back to that cocoon egg thing with the creepy arms inside, probably a trash beast there, and Zodil wants an answer to the offer, but yeah, they're not compatible there. Rudo hates Zodil how he is, and Zodil kind of started viewing him useless, saying he's always too angry, too roughed up, so to say. He doesn't listen, he's not calm and so on, always cursing, always lashing out at things, wishing maybe to have a different spherite there, and says, let me show you, and gives the boots that he took from Amo, pushes them into that egg thing, the Watchmen series, and saying he wanted to create his own entries to the series. So is he trying to create a vital instrument? We still don't know fully what the Watchmen series is, but we got some answers this episode, but also a lot more questions about the world and the characters, and what exactly are these Watchmen series, and how is that process going with whatever Zodil is doing there. And also I'm really curious a lot more about Riyo right now, engine their connections there, and yeah, when in doubt, pull out a gun. That seems to be the best solution to powers in anime. Imagine if more anime fights were like this. You have somebody with, I'm not talking about godlike powers, and if you shoot them they don't have any reactions, just normal superpowers or fantasy powers, and just somebody pulls out a gun. Watch Gate, by the way. Made me think of Gate, the anime, if you wanna see that military versus medieval / fantasy nation there. Nice isekai. But yeah, great episode. I'm really curious what you guys thought about it, and did you expect the gun? Even when you're reading the manga, if you're source material reader, let me know in the comments below. Did you guys expect the gun, both anime and manga only wise? So as always, thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Gachiakuta. I'm gonna see you again on the next one. Bye bye.